this is the kind of tosh that we always get from the Canadians. You go back to Terry Milevsky and what he says about that entire investigation. CSIS was tracking the people who bombed AI 182. They did nothing about it. They botched the investigation after that, and now the one fellow who gets convicted for it also gets his sentence shortened. Now remember, that particular guy, Mr. Parmar, Indira Gandhi had requested his extradition on very credible grounds, and do you know what grounds Pierre Trudeau, the father of Justin Trudeau, denied it on? That Queen Elizabeth wasn't your head of state. So, this is something the Canadians keep using. Their excuses are just as flimsy and specious as Pakistani excuses are. And we're not the only ones saying this. They literally have one of the murderers of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman hiding out somewhere there. They have several, and I say this being a Tamil, they have several extortionists hiding out there. It was one of the primary funding sources for the LTTE. Now, it's a bit rich to say that they're Pakistan because they're not providing them with arms, but are they clueless? Yes. Are they deliberately clueless because of their internal identity politics of the trashy kind that Justin Trudeau practices? Yes.
Mr. Alcock, would you want to respond to that? And just a quick reminder that Abhijit Iyer-Mitra is talking about 73-year-old Noor Chaudhry, who is a convicted fugitive in Bangladesh. There are multiple conversations between Sheikh Hasina and Mr. Trudeau where she has said the man participated in 2 massacres in Bangladesh in 1975 and has since hid in Canada. And for the last 4 decades, Canada hasn't moved to send him back. He's a convicted war criminal. He has killed children, including a 12-year-old boy.
I'm sure that is a much more complicated case, frankly, than you are suggesting. The reality being that Bangladesh is hardly a democratic country at the end of the day. I would only say in response to those comments is that they're certainly obviously everybody is entitled to their personal view. I obviously don't agree with those comments, and they're really not based on reality.
Mr. Alcock, leave aside these convicted criminals. Do you think that it falls in the ambit of free speech to have posters seeking the assassination of Indian diplomats put up in gurudwaras, and today morning to have people parading the streets of Toronto screaming death to the Prime Minister of India and denigrating our flag?
I am sure there are many demonstrators who have denigrated the Canadian flag, and there are probably some demonstrators who have on some occasions called for Mr. Trudeau's demise. It's not all that unusual.
Aren't you a country with the rule of law or whatever Justin Trudeau said? I mean, we're a third world country. Forget about us. We're a third world country. Forget about us. But you claim to be a first world country with the rule of law, right? So your comeback is, oh, it's also done in India.
Sorry, what? I can't hear you.
Yeah, this Padmaja is a former head of CSIS. I rest my case.
So the simple issue is, do you think that this is within the ambit of free speech to call for the assassination of diplomats? And those posters, by the way, were up for 3 months. 3 months. While India said that there is a direct threat to the safety and life of our diplomats, those posters were never taken down because they were at a gurudwara.
I am sure that if there were any real threats to the safety of diplomats in Canada, that would have been investigated and security would have been provided. I'm sure there is adequate security provided for the Indian mission here in Ottawa. In fact, it's just down the street from where I live.
Okay, since you spoke about the kind of evidence that we have put out, let me actually also bring in Abhijit Iyer-Mitra and you on this and give some of the details. So who are the people on whom information has been given by India to Canada? This is not, by the way, credible allegations. This is information and evidence in black and white. Goldie Barar, involved in 15 plus criminal cases. Deportation has already been requested. That is the first man. The next person is Lakhbir Landa, mastermind behind the RPG attack on the intelligence headquarters. in Punjab, the Punjab state of India. His deportation has also been requested. Nothing has happened so far. Arsh Dalla, do you know that 2 weeks ago, a Congress leader was shot dead in the state of Punjab in India? This man has taken responsibility for it. 16 plus criminal cases. He continues to be in Canada. Deportation has been requested. Nothing has happened. Rinku Randhawa, 18 plus criminal cases, deportation requested. Gurwant Singh, he's involved in terror-related incidents. The case against him has carried on since the 1990s. Red corner notice has been issued, deportation requested, and nothing has happened. India has done everything by the straight and narrow, Mr. Elcock. You would appreciate being a senior former intelligence officer yourself. Surely we can't do anything more. We have given you the pictures, we have given you the information, we have issued a red corner notice, we have sought deportation. What stops Canada from acting now?
As I said earlier, obviously I'm no longer the director of CSIS and have not been for a few years. And in any case, CSIS is not involved in criminal matters. It's involved in issues of terrorism rather than gangs and criminal activities. The reality is, if the only comment I can add at this point is that the Minister of Public Safety was clear that the information, whatever you say and whatever information you have, the information that India actually provided was insufficient for the purposes for which it was advanced. If information is not provided that is usable in a Canadian court, then ultimately it will not be we will not be successful in taking action against somebody here in Canada.
Well, that sounds eerily similar, Abhijit Iyer-Mitra, to some other country which had called the evidence we gave them a piece of paper.
Look, I mean, this gentleman sounds like the head of the ISI. You know, I can't believe this man headed the intelligence service of an alleged first world country when he doesn't know that crime and terrorism are fungible. You know, the thing about terrorism is what funds terrorism? It's organized crime. Sometimes organized, sometimes
That's
disorganized, but it's things like, excuse me, I'm talking now. I didn't interrupt you. Thank you. So this man is essentially telling you exactly what the Pakistan chiefs of the ISI have been telling you for the last few years. Why do you think Pakistan is where it is today? What do you think funded terrorism in Kashmir? You're seeing those exact same drug gangs play out. And you know, the surprising thing here is the Khalistan movement isn't a terror movement anymore. There is no terror happening here. What's happening is gun crimes and drugs. Remember, Punjab has the highest addiction rates anywhere in India. It is an organized drug cartel. And the problem is they use political jargon to shield themselves. You know, because you won't get protection for drugs or guns. You will get protection if you raise the Khalistani flag. So they hide their crimes under this whole Khalistan label. And I mean, I don't need to say anything, Padmaja. I think we should just let Mr. Elcock talk because he's kind of making my point for me.
All right, I'm just going to leave it at that. But Mr. Elcock, with the greatest of respect, the people who are in this criminal activity surely can't just be directing all of their energies at India and at Punjab. At some point, they're also going to start spreading their network in the places where they live and where they are sheltered. Let's hope better sense prevails. Thanks very much for